Hey, you're here with Vince, Peter, and Tom, and this is a deleted scene from episode 107. What the hell's 107's title?
Bingo?
Bingo. Thank you.
Well
And
done.
we deleted this because Jonathan was so bad in it? Is
Yes,
that why?
that's why.
That's,
I have to cut around this,
Yes.
this guy so much.
He's learning, though. I think he's coming along. I think with a few more years of seasoning.
Once he gets to 50 years instead of 47.
That's
in
right,
the acting
exactly.
profession.
But seriously, this is a scene which Jimmy asks for Mike's help in retrieving the Kettleman's money. And it's amazing to me that it lifted out so beautifully.
It lifted out so cleanly, and I got to tell you, a lot of times you're watching you bring your box set home or whatever of your show or movie or whatever, and you got the deleted scenes, and a lot of them are crap. Let's face it. This
Is quality deleted
this
scenes
is quality deleted scenes.
As written by Jenny Hutchison and directed by Larissa Kondracki.
This is an excellent scene. The trouble was twofold. The reason we cut it, because some of you are going to watch some of the deleted scenes on here. You're going to be like, well. This one, you're going to be like, this is a pretty good scene. Why did they cut it? But then again, I actually may be watching it, and you may get it. Well, first of all, there's a very mechanical, obvious reason, which is we were overly long in this episode. And this scene constituted an easy lift of over 5 minutes to help get us on time because, of course, with a TV show and ad-supported cable, you got to hit a certain running time, and you can't be overly long. So that was one reason we cut this. But another reason was that as good as this scene is, and as fun as this scene is, and as well acted as it is by both these gentlemen, and well written and directed by Larissa and by Jenny,
causing problems.
we watched it in. We watched the whole episode with this scene in, and we were coming off of. You got to remember the episode before this was 106. The episode, one of the most dramatic episodes, certainly the most dramatic episode of Better Call Saul thus far, and one of the most dramatic episodes, counting all the ones we did on Breaking Bad. It was, of course, the episode where we hear Mike's backstory, and we see him get revenge on the two dirty cops who murdered his son, and it's just heartbreakingly. Bone-crushingly dramatic, and this being the next episode after that, I think part of the worry here was
I thought of that because
this scene feels, as good as it is, feels almost borderline lighthearted. Would you guys agree with that? As far as from Mike's point of view,
It does, and it's if we hadn't done 106, I think it would feel different. But
Yeah.
it's just hard to picture the guy who we met in 106.
That can be done.
Letting Jimmy invade his space this way.
Yeah.
And it's also
leads me to believe that
it's funny because it seemed to me when we outlined the story and when it was written that we absolutely had to have it.
It's so funny that scenes that you struggle over so hard are able to, it really shakes you up as a writer a little bit that, boy, this could come out. And what you've struggled so hard to write and make good is just,
thought we were past.
your story can live without it.
yeah.
It's true, but although sometimes the struggle is that you're trying something that doesn't belong, and sometimes you're trying to expand a moment that doesn't need to be there. But I like this scene a lot.
I do too.
I think it's really well done. But the other thing that lifting it out does is it makes this whole scam with the spray and the money and all the stuff that Mike does. It makes it a little ambiguous. Whose idea was it?
That's a very good point.
Maybe Jimmy was behind this a little bit more. And it also links up the money that Jimmy takes out of the box in his office with the money that Mike places in the toy car.
Visually.
Visually.
Yes.
And I can't argue with that great piece of music, that the Chris Joss music that Thomas found for us, that plays over both scenes. It's interesting. It just doesn't feel like we really needed it.
Again, reinforcing that very good point you just made. When you watch this scene, if it were in the cut, clearly all Jimmy had was coming here was, hey, can you help me out? I got to get some money. I got to find some money and retrieve it. And it's all how to do it. The how of it is all in the wheelhouse of Mr. Ermintrout here. But as you just said, cutting the scene out, I am led to believe it was Jimmy's idea, and he just had Mike execute it.
Right.
But that's up to you, the viewer, to decide. which way you like it.
I think the thing that surprises me the most about taking this scene is I want to see these two characters together as much as I possibly can. You know, part of our theory with getting shows down to time is instead of trying to squeeze a little bit of time out of every single scene, once the scenes are playing really well, instead of trying to cut them short, we take something big out.
Yeah, easier to make one big cut than 1,000 small ones.
This is a little grace note that we took out of episode 107. It's a nice little moment with Jimmy alone, stealing himself before he gets to Howard Hamlin, but didn't quite fit in the running time. But I really like seeing him here.
Me too. I miss that little bit of him brushing the lint off. These are little things you wish you could keep, but you're on a schedule when you're doing a TV show.